Ladies and gentlemen, Doc Holly.
Hello, how you doing, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of When Doc Speaks. I am your host, Doc Holly, and I am so grateful to have you here. We are definitely going to be talking about before committing, questions you need to ask. You need to ask, right? It's so important that many of us enter into relationships and we have these ideas of once we've done vetting and we're trying to get to know someone, and some of us want to be in a monogamous relationship. Some of us are, may want a casual, friendship, and we're trying to figure it out. But whatever your story is, once you've gotten to the place of really identifying what it is that you truly want and you deem yourself to want to be with a partner, there are some things that we need to ask before moving forward into a relationship with someone. Because what you do not want to do, and I say it all the time, is that you do not want to enter into someone's life and disrupt their peace if you do not have the intention on truly choosing them or truly loving them. People deserve so much more than second best. They do not deserve to be an option when their hope is to be a choice. So we're going to dive into this conversation of questions that you need to be asking. I hope that this is something that you can use in your life, that you can share with friends, family members that may be on the search of finding that someone that they want to make that connection with. And here's the thing. When you find yourself in a place to where you are in this dating, era, and you're trying to figure things out, get in it. Don't stay stuck in it. If you're not feeling it, get to a place to where you can move away if it's not working for you. But if it's working, fight it out. Keep asking questions and make sure you guys are not just, talking at each other, but to each other in a spirit of love and in a spirit of comprehending what is being said between each other. So I just want to share that first of all, one question that you need to ask yourself is is the person that you are talking to right now that you're like, I want to be with this person, are they right for you in relation to the things that you need, your desires, your lifestyle, how you think, compatibility? You really need to sit with yourself and ensure that you spend time asking yourself those questions, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to get into something and not feel complete to where you enter into this person's life and you actually don't complement or what I would say enhance their life. Simply because when you look at your lives in parallel comparison, it may be that your lifestyles are totally different. And so what happens is that if your lifestyles are totally different, there's going to be a clash. If your thought process is totally different, there's going to be a clash. And so, for example, when we think about thought process, if you're not having hard conversations in the very beginning, like, for example, I have a strong belief that love is challenging, but it's not hard. And I have a belief that it is supposed to be difficult, through the process when you're maneuvering through it. But once you get it, it becomes easy. And so I have a belief that once that connection happens and you've weeded through all of the unnecessary mess to get to your diamond in the rough, I truly believe that you can be on a fast track to where you guys, with intention, with quality time, can find yourself in a place to where if you desire to have a lifetime partnership or if marriage is on the horizon, then you can probably find yourself being married and saying that you want to be married within 6 months. I do not believe that it takes years for people to figure that out. I believe that when we put ourselves in a position of healing, not that all of us are not in a place of brokenness, because we are broken people. However, there is a work that we must do before entering into relationships, because you don't want to carry unnecessary baggage. But I also believe that because we all have a measure of brokenness within us, that there is someone special out there that will come to enhance your life, to complement your life, and will help to take you to that next level of healing, and will be beneficial as well. So this is why I say it could be really a beautiful picture for two people joining lives together. And when they're moving with a spirit of intentional dating and with a spirit of, I'm in this to win this, I promise you, it does not take long to figure out if you're going to commit to that person. So this is definitely something that you need to sit with yourself and ask yourself the question, is this person right for me? Another question that needs to be asked, please, sirs, please, ma'ams, ask yourself, do you still miss your ex or your past with somebody that you was with? Are you still clinging on to a hope that you may get back with a significant other that you were attached to? Because if you are still hanging on to the possibility and the hope that you will have someone that you had something with in the past, then you do not need to move forward with the person that you may be pursuing, because you will not be able to give your 100% to them because you're divided. So it's very important for you to ask yourself, is there anything on the inside of you that is like hopeful that there may be something that you can have with your ex, or that something may be rekindled or reconciliation may happen? If you still have that desire within you, take a pause, shift your focus, make sure that that stuff that's in your past is completed before moving forward, because that is some baggage that you do not want to take forward into your next relationship. Another question that you need to ask, listen, do you feel connected and compassion with the person outside of sexual feelings? Listen, I'm talking about intimacy. So many people can get caught up in sex and sex possibly being good when they get it. But you need to know, do you feel a genuine connection and compassion with the person that you are with, that you intend on committing to, apart from the sexual energy that you may be feeling? And I'm saying sit with yourself and be honest with yourself, because if you can do that, you can go somewhere. Sexual energy is not enough to sustain a relationship. You definitely have to be able to have a measure of genuine connection, and again, to be able to offer that environment to introduce intimacy, because intimacy can definitely allow for relationships to be lasting. And if you don't have that, then this may not be what you need to enter into. So please, sirs and ma'ams, sit with yourself and ask yourself that question. Another question that you need to ask yourself is, are you really ready to take the responsibility of somebody's life? I mean, listen, when we go into relationships with people, like whatever they got going on now in essence becomes your thing, because you're partners. We're supposed to be a team. So however you're lifing it, however, your partner is lifing it, now you two are joining together to move forward to see if, you're going to continue to progress. It's important to know that, are you really ready to take that responsibility on? All the emotions, the mental, state, the physical state of that person, the spiritual state of that person. Are you in a place to take that responsibility on? Because if you're not in a position to take that type of responsibility on and to own it and to commit to it, then you do not need to say yes until you truly, truly know that you're ready for that type of commitment. Another question that you need to ask. You ready? Are you happy in the relationship with yourself? Or do you find yourself needing to be emotionally dependent upon someone? Listen, are you happy? Are you happy with yourself? Or are you in a place to where you want to be emotionally dependent upon someone? The reason why I say this is because so many people will enter into a relationship and they are not happy with themselves. Your happiness is your responsibility. It is not the responsibility of your partner. Now, they can contribute to your happiness. They can add value to your happiness, but they are not responsible for your happiness. So there are things that you must do as a single person to ensure that you are not having an identity crisis, that you have done the work and that you know what things that you enjoy in life. So many of us spend so much time to where all we do is we work, we take care of kids, home life. It's just a lot of busyness. But what it's not is that we have not taken a pause to really smell the roses, enjoy life, and to figure out what is it in this world that I actually enjoy. What activities do I enjoy? What games do I like to play? What places do I like to visit and travel? Activities that I like to do. We don't have an idea. And so what happens is that we're stuck and we get into relationships, and the next thing you know, you'll find yourself, becoming clingy. You'll be a clingy person. And so with this, this clinginess that you have, it's like this person can't move. They can't breathe. They can't do anything because you're under them, because in essence, you basically are dependent upon them for your happiness. You're emotionally dependent upon them. And that is not healthy for any relationship. So you must put yourself in a position to where you can ask yourself, are you happy with yourself? Or do you want to just be in that relationship so that you can be dependent upon someone so that they can satisfy you and be your happiness? Be honest with yourself, please. Sirs and ma'ams, we have to get down to the realness. Another question that you have to ask. Take a deep breath with me. Please take a deep breath. Inhale it and exhale it. Listen, you need to ask yourself, am I healed? Am I having trust issues? Are there some insecurities in myself? Guys, we can go over this time and time again. But one thing that I can be transparent about is that if you have not dealt with your trust issues, because trust issues are triggers. So if you have not dealt with your triggers, the things that may have you in a place of brokenness, right? If you have not dealt with your insecurities and really sat with those things, someone can come into your life unknowingly and will set you off. And there is no way that that relationship will be able to take off and flourish. You owe it to yourself to sit with yourself and identify what your triggers are, get them under control so that no one will have that type of control over you. And so when certain things happen, you can recognize, I am triggered by that. That's going to trigger the reality that I may not trust this person. That's going to trigger some insecurities that was on the inside of me, but I got it under control. And this is how I manage that. Not for the sake of coping, Because so many times people cope in so many different ways to where when they're dealing with life issues, instead of them getting their healing and moving forward in a place to where they're progressing, they cope by, drinking alcohol. They cope by, substance abuse, drugs. They cope by, just out there wilding out, having, multiple sexual partners, being very, very promiscuous. So there's a lot of things. They even cope by isolating themselves. So people have so many different ways in which, when you don't deal with the things that you need to in order to heal, in order to move past your trust issues, in order to break the fact that you have these insecurities in you, you will find yourself in a position that you're stuck. And basically, you're not going to be able to have a healthy relationship because you haven't dealt with your stuff. You haven't dealt with your things. So another question that I would say that you absolutely, and this is my last one, because I don't like to hold you guys for a long period of time, because I definitely appreciate your quality time when you spend it with me. But the last question that you absolutely have to ask is, do you love this person? Okay? Do you like them? Do you love them? And this is why I'm asking this question. What's the connection? Because what you need to identify is this. Am I just choosing them because I'm lonely? Or I really, in essence, believe in my heart and in my mind that I actually love this person and I like them. And there's something so beautiful that they contribute to my life that is worth me saying yes to commit, and to see if we can take this journey in life together. Listen, guys, all these questions are so valid, and you owe it to yourself to not just enter into someone's life not giving your all. I hear people say it time and time again, 50-50, 50-50. That's what they talk about. But to me, a 50-50 relationship is selfish. It needs to be a 100-100, meaning nobody is perfect. But if you are truly doing this with intention, you bring 100% of yourself into that relationship, giving everything that you have, leaving nothing out. If you're serious, if you're doing it with a purpose. Now, if it's not for you, then don't touch it, right? If it is not for you, then don't touch it. But if you're really truly moving in a position of intention and purpose, you want to have something that's long-term and enduring, then you come to the table giving of yourself at 100%, leaving nothing out, commit to the process, and to see what you guys can end up with, giving and fostering a healthy environment for that relationship to thrive, and also ensuring that you have dealt with all your past stuff without bringing in unnecessary baggage that will create unfortunate things going forward, because you're doing the work right now. You're committed to the person that you're about to choose to love for a possibility for a long-term relationship, and you don't want to do it in a half-hearted way. I hope this has really been helpful for you guys. Again, this is before committing. Questions you should ask. Please share your thoughts with me. Hit me up on IG, Facebook, Snapchat. When Doc Speaks is where she's at. Thank you guys again so much for your time. I appreciate you. You're amazingly wonderful. And until next week, you owe it to yourself to be good to yourself, because no one can benefit from someone who doesn't take care of themselves. All right, guys, take care.
When God speaks, you owe it to yourself. Just listen. When God speaks. yourself to love. Ladies and gentlemen, Doc Holly. Love, hope, joy, peace with Doc Holly.